Hello. Welcome to World War II in living color. I am your host, David Riverall. That's right, this is what I'm doing now. It pays the big bucks, so if any of you have a problem with that, well, that's pretty fucking sad.
Then go fuck yourselves.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go ahead and read some good old copy that my good old co-host here, Dennis, has written for me. He's helping me out with some personal projects, so I guess I'll just lay some of this on you right now as we open the show right here. Welcome.
David does not have corona. Disclaimer.
As Hitler and his wife Ava lay there in puddles of their own blood, his staff entered and took the bodies outside. But no one knew of the janitor who had to clean up the mess the ex-Führer and his wife had made. As he cleaned the puddles of blood, the world was ending around him. But for him, it was just another Tuesday. One of the... As a little-known fact, many World War II Nazi scientists fled from Germany after the war, right before the Russians came in, and decided to go work for the CIA. But for the janitor who had to clean...
He stood trial on Nuremberg, and he was actually said to have said, I was just following orders. And he said that right before that noose became real tight.
While the echoes of his German Nazi brethren echo beside him as they draw their final breaths, their last Hail Hitlers coming out. The final words of the Führer janitor was, I wish I had a little more lemon pledge. And as they pulled that lever, the only thoughts that ran through his head was, how in the hell did the Russian Empire ever get the better of him? Or probably the fact that they outnumbered him 10-1.
Or we could also just say, like, and right before they pulled that lever, the janitor thought to himself, I should have taken that job at Denny's.
But lo, he thought it was above him. I am the greatest hangman that there ever was.
No one.
I am better than this Denny's. A mistake he would later regret.
No one can sweep excrement like I can, the janitor said.
And as the final thoughts that went through his head as that noose was being tied around his neck, he realized, I do love that chicken from Popeyes.
And his final thoughts as the noose was being tied around
his
him,
fucking third final thoughts.
he thought to himself, Chick-fil-A be whack, yo.
Though it fit the agenda of his nation, it did not fit the agenda of his soul.
I was gonna say stomach, but okay.
Yeah, that too, probably.
Imagine that, like, actually is in the book too. It's just like a throwaway line. It's like a conversation that narrator's had with himself. He's like, what about his stomach? Yeah, that too. Anyways,
welcome to the Double D experience.
Wait, we have one more left, David.
I was gonna get to it.
Okay.
I was gonna get to it later. The second one has like nothing to do with like the first one, so I wanted to space them out a bit.
I don't know. I really like this one.
The second one made me fucking pee myself when you wrote that to me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Double D experience. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious, but always off the cuff. I'm David. This is Dennis. We are your hosts for the evening, as we typically always are. We hope you like our podcast. If you do, you can like it on all the shit. I don't know. It's probably on like some services that we don't even know about, but no one's gonna listen to it there, so it doesn't fucking matter in the first place. But yeah. Hi. How's it going? And those were some little narration reel tidbits that my good friend Dennis has written for me, being the professional historian that he is. We're very I want to say that we're very accurate here, but I think Dennis is proving to us in living color right now that we really don't care about facts on this show. Because Chick-fil-A didn't even fucking exist yet at the end of during the downfall of the Third Reich. So I very much doubt that, the Nazi janitor who had a noose being tied around his neck, dangling for fucking breath as his brothers fall, next to him. I doubt that chicken sandwich was what he was thinking about, nor was he thinking about the homosexual community. Rather, he was probably thinking to himself, really shouldn't have fucking listened to this Hitler guy. I guess that American dude was right. He was gonna get us all killed. And now
I should have listened to my wife. She told me it was a bad idea.
But I thought, maybe just the books burning would just produce a better ember flame for my Denny's pancakes. I read somewhere online that, just something about the particular pages that are used in the 1945 novellas of the time brought out a certain smokiness to the meat of the burgers that we cook at the Denny's.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fucking A, man. Well, yeah, I asked Dennis to write some narration bits for me for my narration demo reel because I get told this on the daily, and I guess I'll just announce this now, and since this is probably the calmest intro that we've had to one of our podcasts in a while. Gesundheit.
Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you imagine? It wasn't even...
Jews, am I right?
It wasn't even Gesundheit back then. He just basically, everything they did from sneezes to farts, coughs, it's
yes, Heil.
It's Heil Hitler.
Oh, Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Oh, that was a big Heil Hitler, Meinrich.
Oh, that was a nice queef, Greta. Heil Hitler.
Just severe, I like it. But
You're just a little too dark for me, Greta.
Not to sound like a narcissist, but I do get told this on the daily at my job now since I'm that douchebag in the mall that is selling things to people with the microphone. You know the type when you're walking in a mall and there's somebody talking about the latest and greatest product on Amazon or the one as seen on TikTok. That's my current day job. I'm gonna be frank, I love it. It's a job where I get to actually apply my skills to and that I actually, prove my numbers with. As I told Dennis a couple of weeks ago, I now have the top sales in my district. To which a statement to which he responded, "Oh yeah, top sales in your district, David. What district are you talking about?" And the only district I could think of was 9. District 9. The point is, I do make my sales, and I get told on the daily that I have a nice voice, and people tell me I should do voiceovers. I've thought about doing them forever, and I've always had a shit ton of analysis paralysis going into it. Years ago, I didn't believe in myself. It just took me my own path. It took me a little longer to grow into myself and really get the resources I needed to do that. But before we get into some of the other nitty gritty, as Dennis is ready to on this particular podcast episode of the Double D Experience, I'd like to formally announce and put this on screen right now that I am now available on Fiverr. Actually, yeah.
Hey-o.
You can, if you like the sound of my voice, or if you want me to be used for your commercial, or your promo, or your YouTube videos, your narration projects, or a cartoon character voice, if you like the sound of my voice, think it'd be a good one for your show. I'm fairly versatile with that, or at least I like to tell myself that I am, and I'm probably not. We can discuss that later. You can hire me now for cheap, actually, if you want me to do any voice work for you. I'm burping now. Heil Hitler. You can now hire me, if you'd like, for whatever your project is. Seriously, whether it's narration work, promo work, commercials, cartoon characters, YouTube videos, the works. I'm available for cheap. And I can get your project back to you in a fairly timely, not the project, but I can get the sound bites back to you in a fairly timely response. And I do offer some other services now, including, editing in copyright-free music into it, proofreading the script that you send to me, as well as syncing up the time bits for an extra day or two. All of it's there. Thought I'd just start shilling that here a little bit if you're interested. So, I don't know. I get told that on the daily, and, now I'm trying to put, my money where my mouth is, or hopefully your money where my mouth is. What? Whatever, but I just thought I'd go ahead and announce that now. Yeah, if you want to hire me, like, for any voice work that you might need, I have it for you. I hope that, Dennis's copy that he wrote me about, that lowly janitor at the end of at the downfall of the Third Reich, I hope that titillated something in you, and, yeah, I'm just putting myself out there right now. Yeah, I do voice work, so hire me for it. Random people on the internet. I don't care. Just do it.
Just do it.
Please. It's cheap. It's actually cheap as fuck, seriously.
Do it, just like Hitler did in the bunker when he killed himself. He just probably screaming to himself, just fucking do it!
He was probably just walking up to Ava, bro. He was probably just like, here's the gun. Here's the doctor's note. Just fucking do it already. What the fuck? You're going to put this on me? You're going to put this on me, Hitler? Oh, Lord. Well, now that we got all that out of the way,
hey guys, all that will be in the description below.
Yeah, and on screen for the YouTube video as well.
Go and send David some love.
And by love, I mean the forms of me saying, I guess, just about whatever you want for like $5.
or some little low-key editing too.
Yeah, maybe if you need that.
He offers many services.
Yes.
Like an OnlyFans.
You know, my sister
for
asked me,
creatives.
Like, pretty much, yeah. Like, my sister actually, like, even brought that up to me today. She's just like, "Oh, so you're on Fiverr now? So, like, what is it? You're like, you're selling yourself, David? You're like, are you whoring yourself out, David? Are you a prostitute now? You can. I'm your sister, Dave. You can tell me. You can tell. I'm not kidding. She said that to me today. And though I could, if I, worked on my abs a little bit more. No, I am not a hooker. You gotta earn this dick.
By paying me.
By paying me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't need to do an actual, like, a flip or although, I don't know. If I told a guy, or, like, I don't know, if I was a girl and, like, I told a guy, like, oh, yeah, like, I'll suck your dick if you can do a flip in front of me. And if he actually was able to do a successful front flip, I'd be like, well, fuck. Like, all right, then. I guess, yeah, because I'm not going to go back on my word.
You're a good man.
And also a good woman in that sense.
Oh, yes.
A woman of honor, and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
that's
like
my favorite Call of Duty ripoff, a woman of honor.
But then I'm just imagining, it's like, as I'm like, getting fucked. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, I could barely do a somersault. And this guy fucking did a front flip? Like, it would just, like, bother me the whole time that, that we're fucking. It's just kind of like, yo, are you, like... I did gymnastics for fucking 3 years. I still can't even do a front flip without falling flat on my face. And this guy just does it when asked to, like a dog.
Yeah, now I understand why Gabby Douglas, now I understand why she quit out during the Olympics. Now I get it. If that's the kind of shit that had to go down for her to do those flippity flips. See, if anything, I would be thinking to myself, I gave this guy pussy for this? Just because he could do a flip?
Hey, it's still something that I can't do.
I mean, yeah, but there's definitely things that you can do that other people can't. Like improvise, like alternative history.
David, here's the thing though. I haven't thought about that. I honestly do feel there's plenty of shit that is not written in the history books just because that it would ruin the whole story. Like, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that a Roman senator was so angry with Caesar that he
Stop. We gotta read it first. All right, yeah, because this is important. We're trying to class things up a little bit here on the Double D Experience. It's originally we named our podcast after titties, and now I feel like we need to bring a little bit of culture to you. So
So today it's gonna be Double D education today, guys. Not experience.
Exactly, like doilies. Do you like doilies? We have doilies.
I can't believe I actually remember what a doily is. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Maybe it says you're fucking 79-year-old named Ruth. It sounds like that's what you are. You seem to know the history of one too, but like I said, we're trying to class things up here. So instead of your regularly scheduled, shit posting, like me and Dennis just metaphorically jerking each other off and stuff, we're gonna bring a little bit of class to you here. So here's another bit of copy that Dennis wrote for me, okay? Has to do with what we're talking about. As Caesar was being stabbed multiple times by his would-be friends, he wasn't sad. No, far from it. In fact, he understood where they were coming from. The wounds inflicted on his torso, neck, and arms were all, as Caesar at least thought, understandable. It wasn't until some son of whore... It wasn't until some son of whore stabbed his dick that Caesar became actually angry. Because, like, what the fuck? Who does that? Seriously. You gotta hand it to them, man. They know how to do themselves a good stabbing. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Dennis. You know, I mean, I betrayed my friends in the way that I do. I'm this pompous piece of shit. You know, a head so fucking crammed up my hamster hole that I could see the gerbils running around in the little playpen inside.
You literally wielded so much power that the whole world was your bitch.
To the point where, you know, I see myself so far above my friends. Wouldn't be happy about it, but yeah, you know, I can understand the stabbing. But as you mentioned to me earlier... the dick! But in the dick... Really? It's like I'm already dead. I'm not going to be having sex anymore anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I'm going to be able to use it regardless. Why do you have to stab me in it? Now you're just not even trying to, like, now you're not even just trying to get rid of me. You're trying to cause me, like, the worst possible physical pain I can possibly humanly endure on my way out. And that's just fucked up. You're as fucked up as Caesar was to do that. Alright? If I remember anything about that play, is that the titular character is actually hardly in the shit. Which is funny enough. He's like only in like the first act, and then like he comes as a ghost in like the fifth for like a little bit, I think. And that's it.
Yeah.
But
Can you
still.
imagine when he's a ghost, he tells that one guy, it's like, it's not even like Shakespearean anymore. It's just like, bro, the fuck?
You know, to get revenge.
Bro, the dick? Really? He just drops like the whole pretense and like everything. He's just like, dude, like, I get it. I took your privileges. I basically marginalized all you guys. But the dick, bro? Come on, man.
Back to that. You know what I would do? You know what I would do out of revenge?
What would you do?
Do you remember that scene in South Park where they're all trying to find some internet because they believe there's some internet out in California?
Yeah.
And he, like, uses, like, the one computer they have to, like, look up, like, double Asian bondage, you know, whatever shit, and just he jerks off and comes the most violent cum volcano that has ever been erected this side of Mount Vesuvius. And he's like, oh, there was a ghost. It's ectoplasm. I would do the same. I would just, like, pour, like, if I was Caesar's ghost, I would, like, go to Brutus, and I would just, like, you know, take, like, all this fucking, like, white ectoplasm and just, like, rub it all over him as, like, this invisible being to make it look like I just viciously jacked off in public.
And I like to imagine, too, like, because this is, like, right before, in the play, this is, like, right before the Battle of Philippi, which was, like, basically the battle in which Cassius and Brutus died. And I just like to imagine, like, his guards outside, like, hear him go, like, and his guards like just like come barging. He's like, sir, what's wrong? And you just see him like covered in like this disgusting fucking white ass ectoplasm. And
it came back to him.
And they can't see Caesar either, so Caesar's just like he's out there, he's just stroking his dick in the background, and the two guards can't see him. And Brutus is like, you can't see him? It's like, and then they slowly start to think, okay, this guy's losing his fucking mind. And like
he just jizzed all over himself.
He's also just like losing it now. Like, I don't think I'm on the right side right now. And then you just see like overnight, like everyone in Brutus's camp just starts to like talk about it. It's like, yo, like, our boy literally jerked off, and he's legit seeing ghosts.
Yeah, and I don't know if you fellas have noticed, but there ain't no women folk around.
He even told us not to bring no women. We ain't even allowed to go visit the local brothel. This guy's loose. Where's he getting that pussy from?
Yeah, fellas,
Like,
here's,
what-
that's
We should
That's
stab this motherfucker.
yeah, fellas, that's kind of gay.
It's kind of gay, bro. Like, we Romans, we not into that. We ain't Greeks.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we
they
ain't-
definitely were, but that Greek boy pussy got me questioning my loyalty to Rome. And much like and as it turned around in the end, all Brutus could think about was how Caesar ever got the better of him. And much like his dreams, he too was covered in cum.
I like to even imagine, like, when, after Caesar basically was stabbed, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the assassins just kind of, like, bolted. They didn't even, like, they didn't even try to, like, pick up the body or anything. They just got up and left, all of them.
They just fucking like Osama'd it.
Yeah, and then just left it, like, on the ground to die. Like, or left it on the ground, just let it to rot. And I believe, this was from a show, so I don't know if it actually happened. But I like to think at least Caesar's people, like, got his body, brought it to his house, and, like, I like to imagine, like how a lot of times in the historical events there's always, like, that one guy writing everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, one of Caesar's guys just, like, lifted up his toga and, like, just saw that his dick, like, legitimately got brutally stabbed. And then, he just put his toga down and just looked up at the scribe. It's like, don't write that down. just don't write that down. Like, this
Thaddeus, just stop.
He
Don't
literally
do it.
takes his fucking, like, pen and paper and just crosses that out. It's like, no. This was a great man. And we can't let the histories know that he literally got his penis brutally stabbed. We just can't do that.
We need to make sure that they never know. We do not want any repeat dick stabbings years from now. They were like the forefathers, dude. They were just like thinking way ahead. They were thinking of of the people in the future. They're like, yeah, someone like Donald Trump is gonna rise to power one day, but at least they'll be able to fucking vote him out. That's what Caesar's, cohorts were doing. They were making sure that no more dick stabbings would ever happen in the future. Because the Romans were the horniest bastards that ever existed. And
I
they
think
wanted
the
to make
Greeks
sure
were the
they could-
horniest bastards.
Truthfully. Actually, what?
They had, like, whole orgies. Literally orgies.
Make out reef. Good times. Good times.
It's like that one Greek dude, like, who went to, he's like telling everyone, it's like, yeah. I remember that day. It was a great post-Olympic ceremony, baby.
Yes. Mountain makeout. Good times. Good times.
Can you imagine if,
Why I came off the Acropolis and started some pandemonium. But not limp ones, if you know what I mean.
I like to imagine there was, like, one
Ow,
orgy
my
that's
leg.
probably undocumented. Probably one orgy that took
I would
place
imagine
on-
that most orgies were.
No, but this one was, like, that took place on the foot of Mount Olympus. Can you imagine if, like, some guy just thought he was gonna be a mad lad and just be like, yo, let's go fuck where the gods are at?
I mean, can you blame him?
No, I know, but it's like everyone else would be kind of scared, but this guy's like, yo, I want to go where the gods fuck.
I mean, what is that thing it's called? Vor or whatever, where you're into, like,
Yeah.
giant women?
Yeah. Is it giant
That
women?
shit
I
had
thought
to
it was-
have been invented by the Greeks.
I thought it was just like wanting to be in what do you call it? Like to be inside of a woman, but like you're just small. I guess maybe
vor.
I guess yeah.
A Latin suffix related to eating. What? Vorophilia, a typically erotic desire or sexual fantasy. Oh yeah, it's to be consumed. Or to consume another.
And to be aroused by it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A monster, also known as Shalrath, in the 1996 computer game Quake. Okay.
Oh. I didn't know we were gonna get video game facts off of that.
Now I've heard of bunny hopping, but this is ridiculous. Lord.
Okay, I did not expect to fucking hear that today. But yeah, I think a lot of times in history we don't get like I definitely feel like the official primary sources and histories that we get are definitely not obviously like the full fucking story. Because there's a lot of times, at least for contemporary stuff, like from maybe World War II to like modern, we found out about new shit all the time. But it's like I always just love to imagine that like the whole time that these guys are basically writing down their memoirs and shit, they always kind of leave out like the most embarrassing parts just because like, you know, I'm a larger than life guy. I have to be remembered like, you know, fondly and shit like that. Like imagining like if Napoleon lived long enough to even have his fucking memoirs, right? Would he have written to would he have like lived long enough to like kind of die naturally? Because he died I think because of stomach cancer. But like just imagining like he just puts down in his memoirs one day, it's like, and then I took a massive shit after dinner that day. Like, dude, it was like the most wicked shit since Russia. Like, I cannot tell you. I should not have eaten that burrito before I wrote this.
Prussian that shit out of me. Thank you. I'll be here. I'll be here all week. But that's interesting. You know, you're saying that like, you know, they leave that out because they don't want to be remembered in that certain way.
But we all know they took a shit.
Yeah, but because you're saying that because of archaeology and anthropology and such, that like it gets discovered eventually. You know, one way or another. It'd be like, hey, did you guys know that Hitler had an incest fetish? It's true, look it up. No way. What the fuck are you talking about? No, seriously. And now that like some historian confirms it, and it's like, well, goddamn.
And then like the whole history community is just like in an uproar. It's like, should we do we have to put this down in the books now? Like, do we like have to mention this? Because like, I mean, it is fact. The guy fucking corroborated it, but like, dude, kids read this shit. We can't put that on.
That's
like,
what I was about to ask you. Is it like do you think like history in schools is like PG-ified?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really? Oh, that's
yeah.
That's good and not good at the same time.
For like primary school, especially. Like,
well, I mean,
like
primary school. I mean,
yeah, like elementary to like kind of high school. Like a lot of it is a bit pussified, yeah. Because
does this 10-year-old need to know that Adolf Hitler wanted to fuck his mom? Do they need to know that?
Look. I mean, yes and no.
I mean, in high school we read fucking Oedipus.
True, but
and he did fuck his mom.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, didn't he find out like after?
Yeah, he found out after the fact, and he was
like,
"No." He found out after the fact, and he was like,
you know,
oh God, why didn't anybody fucking tell me?
As that story goes, right? Chances are, yeah, he did probably had like a minute of like, you know, just thinking about it.
You're like,
but at the same time, he was like thinking like, you know, not that I would ever condone this or whatever, but it's just
that
like he
pussy
probably
was
thought,
fire, right?
Yeah, he was just like, yo, my mom could fuck. Look.
In the moment, yeah,
exactly. Like he was just like, yo, but like he was, imagine Oedipus like in another part of like, and let's say in another version of the story, like he talked to a friend about it, and he's just like, and the friend's like, ew, bro. It's like, your mom. It's like, dude, I know, but like, bro, my mom.
Oh my God.
And then the friend's just like still weird. That's like, yo, bro, like that's still your mom. It's like, yeah, I know, bro. I know it's weird, but like, dude.
Yeah, there are definitely some subreddits for that man to check out if he was born in a different era.
He doesn't even like actually have any thoughts. He's just like, the only thing he could think of is just, bruh, my mom got it going. Oh,
yeah.
But his friends,
I'm still gonna kill myself later. But yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people.
Same thing with his dad. He didn't know it was his dad until like after the fact, after he already killed him. Like that's like
that's true.
That's like the whole plot of that thing is that he meets like some witches or whatever, and like the witches like foretell something to him. Is like, you're going to kill your father and marry your mother. And he's like, what the fuck? Why would I ever do that? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. And then he does it literally without knowing it. Like, he goes to war or some shit, and one of the people he killed turned out to be his dad. and then the woman he marries turns out to be his mom. It's like he didn't know his parents or some shit, or at least I think that's how the story goes. And then obviously that's where the term Oedipus complex comes from, when people, actually do want to, fuck their moms or whatever.
So he was just kind of like just switching. I guess it kind of switched at birth or something like that. I guess
I think that's the story. I've actually never read it, so I don't know.
Same. That's why I was like wondering to myself, because like.
But either way, he fucked his mom, so we can all point and laugh at him for it.
I'd feel kind of bad, though.
Unless that pussy was bomb. In which case, we could point and laugh at him, but at the same time be like, nice. Nice, Oh, that's fucked right up.
I know. Like, I remember that episode in South Park where Kyle's brother, I forgot his name.
Ike,
yeah, he like
Miss Teacher bangs a boy.
Yeah, and
that's a classic episode.
It is a classic episode, and I kind of realize now like how kind of like sad it is, just because like. That whole scene when like Kyle goes to the cops and tells them like things like, oh yeah, like my teacher banged, or like the teacher banged my little brother, and the guy and all the cops are like, it's like this like nice.
Right, the new kindergarten teacher, the one at South Park Elementary, right? It's like, yeah, nice.
But that was also like, I feel, a commentary on the fact that like when it comes to at least
it absolutely was
like like sexual abuse from older female to a younger male.
But that's hot.
That's nobody
pedophilia.
ever really takes it seriously.
Yeah,
and I mean they had to use Ike as like the example for it, which was, I thought, really weird, because like
it was very shocking, and I think that was the intent. They wanted to make it as shocking as possible. That it's like. She fucked like a 4-year-old. I didn't even think that was possible.
Yeah, exactly. And like she found it like hot and everything. And
yeah.
I was like, I as a kid, because I watched that episode when I was really young. And a lot of shit obviously flew over our heads whenever we were really young. But like now looking at it, I'm just like, this is kind of like a foreshadowing for a lot of shit that like kind of came afterwards. Because again, for the most part, nobody ever takes younger men or younger males sexual abuse cases from females ever seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I see the same comments all the time where it's always just, it's like, I bet he liked it. Like, what guy's not gonna like that? What, 6th grader never thought about banging their teacher? And they're right. And they're right on that. But at the same time, though, sex, again, is between two consenting adults. That's the fucking fundamental of it.
That's the whole thing.
And in this
not
case...
sexually mature,
Yeah. Like, and in this case, it's clearly one of the parties is not fucking age of consent. So it's the same rule all the time across any sort of situation. And you could even play the double standard. And, obviously, again, like, a lot of times the news loves to, when they find out that a older male is basically having sexual relations with a younger female, it's obviously 10 times worse in the news. But I'm just saying, though, like, this whole thing goes across all boards. But hey, again,
I'm sending
Oedipus,
you an article
like,
right now. I want you to look at it.
But Oedipus, bro, like, I mean, this is a completely different thing entirely, because, I mean, he was a consenting adult, right?
Just an older, I believe so, yeah. I think they were both adults, or
Yeah.
whatever the standard of adult was during, like, Shakespeare's time, because back then it wasn't uncommon for, like, 17-year-old dudes to get with like 13-year-old girls and shit back then. I'm pretty sure like Romeo and Juliet, there was a stark age difference between them in that story, and Romeo was a lot older, if I'm not mistaken. At least I think as the original story goes. But I want you to take a look at this right now. I just sent you this article right here. Like, it's a CBS News thing about notorious teacher sex scandals. We talked about this actually on the episode that Bandy Pat was on, episode 32, about 2 episodes ago. We briefly touched upon this topic because we were talking about maps, how, like, pedophiles are trying to, like, classify themselves on the LGBT spectrum. Like, fuck off, please kill yourself.
Yeah,
like, if
please.
you fucking doing that. Like,
there ain't gonna be an LGBTQP for you. Like, no.
Yeah, no, you're not doing that. Like, I want you to, like, think about, like, that blood stain that you were cleaning up as the noose ties around your neck. And, as the Third Reich, puts you down.
And as Kermit so eloquently always puts it, fucking kill yourself.
Fucking kill yourself, Miss Piggy. Get out of my life.
Yeah, but look, here's
get
the thing.
Fuck off me, you fucking wildebeest.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna post these pictures on screen, obviously.
Obviously.
But I was just trying to think of this one case I thought of years ago that we talked about where older teacher, older male or whatever, like, you know, abuses like a young girl or like a girl that's under 18. On the news, they show his fucking mugshot. That's what they show most of the time. Older woman, or if it's an older teacher, you know,
it's always
like
a candid photo.
It's always a candid photo. They don't show their mugshot. Like the first one is this blonde woman. She's pretty hot too. Like just like fucking smiling, and like I think it's like probably like her school like ID card, if anything.
Yeah.
That's what that shit looks like. And 27-year-old high school teacher fucked her 17-year-old student, turned herself in after a warrant was issued for her arrest. But like that's the photo they went with here. This one, the one below it, this one kind of looks like a mugshot. A little bit. I don't know. Like, this teacher was also giving him a 14-year-old weed and shit. Like, alright. This one! What is this Sarah Jones woman? Look at her! This is the photo they used? It's like she's in, like, her fucking cheerleading outfit. Yeah. It's like, they're like, but this is hot, right? It's like, well, that woman is a pedophile. You need to know that.
Yeah.
That woman is a literal pedophile.
A lot of people seem to forget with a cute smile and some perky titties.
Yeah, and apparently
Once
this
those are
one
in there,
avoided jail time, too. Look at that.
Yeah, I think one of them had like a plea bargain or something with the prosecutors.
Oh,
which,
my
I mean,
Lord.
I'm going to say this. If that was a dude, they would have been like, plea bargain? What plea bargain? Bro, you're going under the jail, bro.
Oh, God. This one got this woman pregnant. 13-year-old male student, 24-year-old, like, English teacher. Oh, my Lord. Hey, this one, they're showing her mugshot. This one here says Corey Beard. Fucking last name is Beard. Okay. You ever thought about... Oh, and the one below it, mugshot, too. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm scrolling down lower, and, like, they're actually, like, most of them are starting to be mugshots. But the first three gave a very bad impression of the, very bad impression of the article. Because the rest are actually, like, mostly mugshots now.
Yeah. I'm seeing the pattern too.
Yeah.
A lot of them even having like pictures taken as they're being like escorted from the by the
Yeah,
bailiff.
I saw that one. And again, that woman, same thing. You know, like I mean, she's looks like a teacher. I'm surprised she dressed that way for like the court. I guess.
She was like wearing a chain upon chain upon chain. Like,
yeah, I could see that. What the
Holy
fuck?
Jesus.
What did this one do? Former Utah high school. Oh, Utah. That doesn't surprise me. Pleaded guilty to sexually abusing 3 teenage boys. Wow. But was only jailed after allegations emerged that she continued a sexual relationship.
She
with
was
one of the
free
boys.
on bail, but then she got found. She got basically
I guess.
again.
And this wow, it's actually mostly women in
Oh
this
my
article too.
God.
There's been like 4 or 5 dudes, but holy shit, most of them are just like, you know, like high school and middle school female teachers.
Some of them literally like fresh out of college, like fucking teachers, like literally just finished school and then they just went right to working at the school.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
here's
I mean, I guess. Yeah, go
Here's
ahead.
the thing though too, like, and this is the scary part. For guys who are pedophiles, you kind of can look at him and kind of know. Maybe in at least the back of your brain, you're just like, yeah, you might be a pedophile. like right off the bat.
Yeah, you know, this guy looks enough like this guy right here at the bottom. He looks enough like Woody Allen.
Like, but for women though, that shit's so like almost impossible. You can't do that.
Yeah, most of them are very attractive women. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the thing. And I mean, obviously, neither me nor Dennis are into dudes, so maybe like we can't come at this with like that kind of perspective, I guess, or we can judge. But I mean, I can admit when a man is handsome. I mean, I could definitely do that. And be like, oh wow, that's a good look. Sometimes it's my first thought when I look at a dude. I don't pop a boner, but I'll be like okay, wow, that's a good looking guy. And a lot of the dudes in this article, not very handsome men.
Nope.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, look at this guy. Look at this Gilbert Joseph Trujillo here. Look at this old fuck. Elementary. Oh god. Oh. Ew.
Yeah, a little worse than others.
I'm not even gonna read that one. That's nasty.
Let's not.
No. Oh god. I hope he's fucking getting super duper raped in the prison.
Here's the thing though too. The sentences and how I'll always. Not always bring this up because it's like, why the fuck would anyone want to hear this? But at least like the lopsidedness of the sentences that a lot of these people get, like the women get compared to the guys, almost slaps on the wrist. I feel.
You saw the cheerleader? She didn't even go. Like, she got out on, like, a plea deal. And
Yeah,
that's the picture they used as well. Like,
that's why I was saying, like, you know, like in any other situation, if this teacher, I guess if a guy's a cheerleader, I don't know, I don't judge, but if this was a he, there would be no fucking plea deal. Period.
yeah.
This guy would get 25 to life easy, with no bail possible.
Yeah.
Or parole.
I'm not even
at all.
Fuck me, man. Like, I'm not even gonna, like. Okay, this one we got Mary Kay Letourneau and Ville Fiolard. After serving her sentence, Letourneau
What the hell
married
was that
Foulard in
name?
2005. I think it's French. And they raised 2 children with him. The couple later poked fun at their situation by hosting hot for teacher parties at a Seattle nightclub, according to CBS affiliate, and the couple separated in 2017. Hot for teacher parties? Sign me up, am I right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, I mean, we're talking about sexual allegations here, and that's like a whole different ballpark, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I mean, there are stigmas against men when it comes to that. I mean, a lot of the time, women don't get believed when they're sexually harassed. They're treated like a joke in the criminal justice system. We're not sitting here telling you, but men are the real victims as well. We're sitting here saying that men are victims as well. Those cases are also not taken seriously, especially if it's against a woman. Like that South Park episode you sort of portrayed. Oh, like the hot new, like, kindergarten teacher fucked a boy? Nice, I bet he loved that shit. He's like fucking 4. He doesn't know what sex is yet. He should be like, he should...
Wasn't there a part where Ike was smoking a cigarette or something?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it's so fucked up, man. Like, the only thing that he should be smoking are his fucking grades, you know what I mean? Ugh.
Yeah.
I was trying really hard to think of a good pun there, but I couldn't improvise one off the top of my head. But, like, you know, point is, like, when it's, like, a woman, because of, like, the stigma that the man probably liked it, which, regardless if he did or he didn't, you know, a lot of them are too young, they're not sexually mature yet, that doesn't make it okay. They're not sexually mature yet, they're not adults, they can't consent. And it kind of makes me think of, like... Fuck, I lost my train of thought, but it just kind of makes me think of, like, how, like, some of that stuff isn't, like, taken as seriously the other way around, like the stigmas. Like, you ever see, what is that movie? I don't fucking remember what it's called, but I think Pyrocynical reviewed it. Hold on, let me go to YouTube.
Was it like an older kind of movie?
No, not at all. Horror. I'm gonna look this up. Horrible movie about a terrible person, because that's literally what the name of the video was called. Sierra Burgess. It's a movie called Sierra Burgess. It was on Cynical Reviews, and I watched this video. Sierra Burgess, right? It's a cynic. To give you like the little synopsis of this movie, right? As I'm gonna look this up here, Sierra Burgess.
Oh, is a loser.
Yeah, Sierra Burgess is a loser is what the name of this movie is called, right? And I'm gonna go to IMDb and I'm gonna read you the little plot synopsis that we got for this movie here. Yeah, initially mistaken for a psychotic thriller, the main character, Sierra Burgess, goes on wacky misadventures, as they call it, as she catfishes a guy she likes, humiliates a girl who was nothing but nice to her because she ended up with a girl that Sierra doesn't deserve, and sexually assaults said guy. Oh, that was a review. That wasn't the plot synopsis.
It's like, oh, David, tell us your real thoughts.
What this movie is about, it's about, like, this relatively, like, it's about, like, this quote-unquote loser, you know, band girl or whatever, right, who really, really wants, like, the popular guy in high school, you know, whatever, and she catfishes the dude. She literally pretends to be, like, the popular high school girl and thinks that, like, he's talking to her because she knows that he would never talk to her based on what she looks like to begin with. So already the protagonist is incredibly unlikable because she's catfishing a person. That's already fucked up as it is. And the main character goes through, like, no character development as it goes on, right? Because you want it to think, like, oh, at the end of the movie, she learns her lesson, and she should just embrace who she is, and then eventually, like, she'll find somebody who actually likes her for who she is, as long as she keeps growing and being herself, rather than pretending to be somebody else. But that's not how the movie ends. She winds up with the guy. It's like they kiss at the end of it, and it fucking ruins every little fucking, like, tiny redeeming qualities that film could possibly have. Because now this woman catfished a person and she got rewarded for it. What kind of fucking message does that send to kids? This movie was, like, intended for teenagers, and it was clearly written by, like, some, like, fucking fat woman who probably never got to be with, like, the popular jock in high school that she really liked. Like, this has, like, huge fucking... What was that play that woman wrote about Danny Sexbang? You remember we talked about that a while back?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where she, like, sort of just portrays him as, like, this horrible person just because they hooked up and he didn't want anything serious, but she did. And it just sort of, like, winds up biting her in the ass because she only makes herself look like a dumbass. Same thing in this movie. It's like
cringe. Oh yeah.
Fuck. That's like the popular girl is the only one who has any like actual character development because she's like a total bitch, like who winds up learning to respect herself despite her mother, you know, having her problems and being like an alcoholic or whatever. And instead of like the main character learning her lesson that catfishing is wrong and that she should just be herself, she is literally rewarded for catfishing the dude. What that movie sends is the message that, like, oh, if you're, like, you know, like, not, like, the stereotypical, like, hot girl in high school, if you catfish a guy to make them think you're somebody else, maybe they'll give you a chance and they'll learn to like you for who you are. It's like, that movie is actually promoting catfishing somebody. It's fucked up to high hell. And the thing is, imagine if the fucking roles were reversed.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying here, and that's what I'm relating this topic to, like, you know, like women, older women being pedophiles, right? Yes. That's what I'm correlating it to. This movie got greenlit by Netflix. I mean, Netflix greenlights fucking everything because they're trying so hard to get their grubby little mitts on every industry that they can, which I hope will one day eventually sort of be their downfall. But this movie, same thing. Imagine if the roles were reversed and it was about an ugly dude, like, catfishing the popular girl to try to get with her. Imagine the uproar. Imagine the fucking, like, news articles that would come out about that film. But no, it's right now, it's like a woman doing something sexually wrong, like catfishing, like, who was, like, again, basically, like, abusing this guy. It's okay. No, it's fucked up. It's like that movie literally, it could have been, like, good. It could have sent the message that doing this is wrong, but it doesn't because she winds up with the guy at the end, literally sends the message to kids that catfishing is okay.
Because of strong woman.
Not literally. Even.
No, I feel as if because it's solely because of the protagonist, though. This is supposed to be empowering to any fucking, I don't want to say cunt, I guess, but, like, if you like the movie because you like the movie, okay, but, like, if you thought the message also was kind of like, you know, I guess you're still on my side here, but literally, again, you even said it, though, and I even feel it, like, if this was completely reversed, this guy would be seen as a total fucking piece of shit.
Which he would be. Which he is. He's fucking catfishing a person.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, we are always supposed to kind of feel... Maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I really don't want to come across as if, like, it's like, I hate all women. I don't. But I honestly feel that there's, like, just so many times where so many fucking movies that, like, they just can't write a fucking likable female protagonist. Because right off of that synopsis that you read, and even, like, the little Wikipedia fucking plot summary that I'm reading, like, she is a total cunt.
Dude, this movie was written by a woman who never mentally passed high school and just wanted to get with the jock but never could. By the end of the movie, if a girl was catfishing me, I wouldn't fucking ask her out. I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? You were pretending to be somebody else the whole time, being a manipulative fucking sociopath, and I'm gonna like you now? No, that's crazy. And this movie got fucking greenlit by Netflix, dude. Is why I have literally zero fucking respect for Netflix as a company anymore. Is that they greenlit, and Cuties and all the other horrible shit that, you know, they fucking greenlight. It's like...
I mean, like, the whole point of criticism that a lot of people were kind of bringing up was, quote from Wikipedia, the film has been criticized by some for romanticizing certain character choices by the female protagonist. Here's the keyword, romanticizing.
Yeah, it romanticizes catfishing.
Yeah, they support this shit. Specifically, Sierra Burgess, specifically her catfishing and sharing a non-consensual kiss with her love interest. Also hacking, cyberbullying, and mistreating her friend and pretending to be deaf with support from one of her friends. So being a lying cunt is basically like, what this whole like, movie was kind of supporting.
Yeah.
And let's just even take cunt aside. Being a liar, period. Being dishonest. Engaging in dishonest kind of ways to get a person to like you. And here's the thing though, ladies. We guys also do plenty of shit where we have to split the plates and fuck for you. And I understand like that's our role. Because we literally have to jump through hoops to get pussy sometimes. And
well, that's the thing. A man wants sex, he has to earn it. If a woman wants sex, she can ask for it. Unless it's another woman, in which case she probably also still has to earn it, unless they're drunk. But,
But that's the thing, though. Like, we have to literally charm you to get pussy. And
as it is in nature, if you want to talk about, like, you want to talk about voiceovers again and be like, look at the primates. The mating rituals. The male cockatoo does a romantic dance and shows off its wings to the female, but she flies away. Another time.
Like David.
Another day.
Could I ask you a question?
What?
If you were alone with a really hot girl in the room, right?
Yeah.
And she just drops her pants.
Yeah.
Are you saying no?
Well, that's the thing, obviously it depends on, certain contexts and whatnot, but if it's just like, hey, this woman wants to fuck, I'm single, she's single, let's do it, then yeah, probably.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I mean, though. That's what I'm saying, there's no effort on her part. She just drops her pants and just like, and she just looks at you with her
shoulders. Pretty sure that was half the time that me and my ex-girlfriend even did it, was she like, you don't even talk anymore, you're just like, she's just like, takes off, just like, here's my pussy, I'm presenting it to you. Do what you will.
Yeah, are we doing this? We doing this, right?
Which again, the fact that you were recording from your girlfriend's place, God, I fucking miss that. I miss waking up in the morning and just like having my morning wood and being like, wait, I could put this in something right now. Oh, that's amazing. I fucking miss that feeling so much, man. Being married sounds fucking incredible for that reason and that reason alone, but
it's not everything you chalked it up to be, though.
Come
marriage.
on.
No, but marriage in general, though. Come on, you've seen your parents fight. It's not exactly like all sunshine
and I've seen
lights.
them have like the happiest times of their life, and I also see them never go to bed
but
angry.
I'm saying it does take work, though.
Yeah, of course.
Don't ever go into it thinking like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be perfectly fine. I could literally just put this shit on autopilot.
I never said that.
No. But I'm saying though, some people do though. They romanticize that idea of marriage, which again, like a lot of y'all need to like. I think a lot of people my age kind of understand that like. Getting married is a very difficult thing, and it does kind of scare them off because I don't think a lot of people my age are equipped to deal with that emotional and even sometimes physical stress of being married.
Right.
Because especially when it comes to kids, you're gonna have to fucking basically you're gonna have to split the work. Yeah. Especially when you have kids. There's gonna be some days when like exactly. But like back in the day, it was literally the wife that did all of that. And
yes, the good old days.
But that's what I'm saying.
Where I didn't have to do shit.
Like, guys, I think in general, we get married when we feel we're ready to get married. Like, for me, I'm not getting married until I'm, like, actually financially stable.
Right, of course. Yeah, you should.
Because like, marriage and plus even, like, kids is fucking money. And you're gonna have to, like, I hate to kind of talk about, like, a kid as if it's, like, a fucking Excel spreadsheet. But really, you're gonna need to be fucking prepared with money to be comfortable having a kid. It's just how things are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of people nowadays, it's like they're almost like they're not done almost ever being not a kid but being young. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being single, going like to different places. They want to go on an adventure every fucking year. And I'm not downplaying any of this. I'm just saying though, like, it's no wonder that marriage rates and even fucking birth rates have fucking plummeted. Not plummeted, but like have gone down a bit in this country.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people are too eager to have kids unless, I guess, for one thing, it won't kill like their finances, because money is, I think, even more important for a lot of young people nowadays than it has ever been, because of the fact that everything's a lot more expensive now. You can't buy a fucking decent house in Jersey that's less than $600K, depending on where you live, obviously. But my whole thing that I'm getting at is that, like, the very fact that even it's not even just in this country. It's like, we even talked about East Asia, fucking Korea, Japan, plenty of other places out there in the world where there's just no incentives to having kids because of the fact, at least for young people. I mean, I guess when you're old enough, it's like fuck it, whatever. But like, for a lot of people back in the day, especially even for, I guess, guys and girls, mostly girls to a certain extent, because this is how they were brought up. Girls were brought up into thinking, oh yeah, I want to be a mom. They never were really taught to like have their own aspirations. They were just kind of taught to be like, you're gonna be taking care of the kids, and cooking and cleaning and all that, later on.
Is it those old stigmas that make movies like this still mainstream in the way that they are? Cause like,
wait, say that again.
It's like, is it old notions like that make people like feel like these movies are justified in the way that they are? Because there's also Tall Girl, which is another movie that's very similar that does that kind of stuff. Like, there is a scene in Sierra Burgess where Jamie, the main dude, thinks he's kissing Veronica, the popular girl, when in reality he kissed Sierra because they tricked him. Like, he was like blindfolded or something.
Right. I never saw this movie.
If
but
it was two dudes who tricked a girl like that,
there'd be outrage.
Yeah, that's fucking, as there should be, because that's a fucking crime. That's fucked up. But
that outrage would be more than with the outrage that this movie received.
This movie is so fucking unrealistic, dude. It's like, and it sends such a fucking horrible message. And it makes me think, is it because of stuff like what you're saying right now? Is it because of those old gender norms? Like, do people still think that we as a society aren't past that? Because there are parts of the world that are. Look what happened in, like, Afghanistan. The Taliban took over. Women can't drive cars and shit. They're already talking about some of the shit that women can't do. Like, a whole group of women who, the women robotics team or whatever, like, they do that, like, car fight shit. They had to escape the country so they could continue doing that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, in those kinds of places, yeah, they live in incredibly patriarchal societies, which some women still argue that America is, and to some extent with them, I definitely agree. But that doesn't justify a fucking movie like this. I feel like any true feminist would look at Sierra Burgess and be like, wow, yeah, she is a fucking loser.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah, she's like she's an actual fucking manipulative sociopath. Yeah. Straight up. And it doesn't matter if it's like meant to be told ironically, it still sends such a fucking unbelievably bad message. Like they're kids are very impressionable in that regard. And if that's your fucking target audience in tweens, which it clearly is since it's about fucking high school.
I think so, yeah.
Like, literally just admit that you didn't get dick in high school. It's way easier to do that and work that out with your therapist than to make this shit fucking film.
I looked up the picture of the screenwriter. She's got like a horse face.
Yeah, I figured.
So I mean,
as did the girl who wrote that fucking smut play about Danny Sexbang. She was literally just incredibly mad that she didn't want to fuck him. You know what I mean? And
he didn't want to fuck her.
That he didn't want to fuck her. Yeah, and. Yeah. Look, I also take that a little personally because I've actually had, like, an experience in my life where something very similar happened to me. No one wrote smut about me. No one wrote a fucking play about how Nintoonist is this goddamn manipulative sociopath, but I did have, people that I rejected hate me a lot because I rejected them, and it's like, yeah, do what you gotta do, like, to, like, heal, and I totally get that. Trust me, if my ex was still in my life, I never would have gotten over her, or gotten over her as much as I have, I should say. Or at the very least, like, gotten to a better place, because I respect myself enough to know that I had to distance myself. But fuck's sake, man, it's like eventually you gotta let that baggage go if you're trying to move on at the very least, or if you think something will happen in the future.
And you want to find someone new in the future, too. Like, you gotta be able to, like, or at least you'll have at that point have...
I just hate
mostly like moved on. I don't know.
I hate how Netflix just greenlights movies with no fucking substance just because it's like, some fucking fat chick's diary about how she never got laid in high school.
But David, Netflix has greenlit some good movies.
Yeah, like Cuties, the movie about like, a bunch of dancing naked fucking 8-year-olds.
But you know what I mean. But you know what I mean, though. Like, this is definitely
their shows are way better than anything. And even a lot of their shows are fucking shitty. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Irishman also?
But it's a fucking Scorsese film. Netflix had nothing to do with that.
I know. But like, when they first streamed it, it was on Netflix though.
Yeah, no, it's technically a Netflix film. It's technically a Netflix film, but they had nothing to do with the actual production of it. It was just made by one of the greatest fucking producers and directors of our time. And that's why that shit happened. And it came out on Netflix originally. It's not like that's written by a guy with experience. It's not like Sierra Burgess who basically just took her diary and plastered it out here for the world to see.
I'm not trying to compare Scorsese to this bitch.
Like, I mean, they also made Stranger Things,
Do you not like Stranger Things?
No. That shows.
Oh, okay.
That show's
Because you were
fucking
going off on a
fantastic.
rant, but you were going off on a rant before. That's why I was kind of confused, like where your head was.
Yeah,
still
what I'm
at,
saying
like,
is that
at
their
point.
shows
Yeah.
are better than their fucking movies. Netflix's original
bar
movies are
bar none.
so fucking bad.
Bar none. I still think Netflix makes. I've only watched 2 documentaries off of Netflix, and I will say they are probably some of the best documentaries that I've ever watched. Period, on any platform. Like, I watched a couple, I guess, back in the day, like the History Channel and stuff like that. I haven't seen any of Netflix's history documentaries, just because I already have like a YouTube channel that I go to that, honestly, I feel has better history documentaries than anyone else out there.
Working on the
Even
Star Trek
fucking
sequel?
History Channel or whoever else. But I do agree with David. I think Netflix definitely greenlights better shows. They have a lot more animated shows than any other person nowadays, I feel. Like, I see tons of stuff coming out that I'm like, why didn't Nick or Cartoon Network pick this shit up? Because oftentimes when a lot of people have like a show they want to get like greenlit or I guess syndicalized or what, I don't know what the term is exactly, but when they go to like studios to basically tell them, trying to pitch a show to them, right? They have the pilot and they have everything like kind of like the premise and all that, and like, you know, whenever you go into a meeting like that, and I've never been into one, but I like to imagine that when you do go into one, like, you're trying to sell your idea, obviously. And I don't know, Cartoon Network and Nick, like, there's really not a lot of shit on there that like kind of really catches my eye anymore. And it's maybe because I'm not watching cable.
We're
again.
also adults, man. They don't appeal to me either in that
Yeah.
kind of sense. If anything, I prefer like a lot of adult animated comedies. Like, I just watched The Venture Brothers for the first time a couple of months ago. That was one of the greatest shows I've ever watched in my life. That show was fucking incredible. I feel like that sort of has to do with us growing out of it, man. But like, it makes me sad that Netflix will greenlight literally anything, despite how shitty
Under
it
the
is
sun.
to try to attach themselves, because they're trying so hard to leech onto every industry that they can. And then movies like this become like mainstream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Movies like this, like, you know, that frankly, if, you know, like, they really reach like the masses, would have like horrible social ramifications, I feel, if like people didn't recognize how shitty these films actually were. They don't care. It's like the same thing with like social media, like not caring about like how horrible the platform really impacts society in that kind of way. You know, It's like Netflix doesn't care. We'll greenlight this because it has a market that it'll probably sell to, even though the film itself has no fucking substance, sends a horrible message, and is about a manipulative sociopath that doesn't, you know, downgrade her behavior or show it in a negative light. That conversation stems from like where we were talking about like the gender norm thing, because like it's just something that's sort of marketable to that. Same thing with like everything that's on like Freeform. Like, all the shows that are on the Freeform network are literally written for Tumblr. Like, they're
Tumblrettes.
written for Tumblrettes, like, straight up. It's like, oh, we'll give you what you want in this like regard. Like, it's about bold women, whatever, and like sometimes like they'll just never be held responsible for their own actions,
Bold
even if
women.
they're the ones who are in the wrong. And it's like, shit. And again, like, we as dudes, we're not trying to be like, us dudes are like the real victims of society.
No,
like, we understand that women go through a lot of shit, but that
we're
doesn't
at least
mean...
saying our shit is no less valid either.
Yeah.
Like, because we always, and I guess you could even, I bet all of y'all are basically ready to say, like, you know, because I'm about to say, oh, you know, we feel marginalized. And a lot of women are being like, we've been marginalized for fucking centuries. It's like, yeah, I get that. But the thing is, though, is that whole, like, this whole thing that y'all are trying to do is that, at least for the ones that don't take it to, like, some radical fucking, like, way, a lot of these, like, I guess, feminists, I don't know, I really don't like to call myself that anymore, but it's like, you know, I get your whole goal, which is, like, we just want to be on the same standing as men. Like, across all boards, essentially. We just want equality is what a lot of them are getting at.
Yeah.
But there's always the ones that take that shit a little too far, and we're like, we want to, like, oppress men and shit, which is like, I'm sorry, honey, it's not gonna happen. Like, there are so many countries out there, and especially considering, like, even our country, where shit's run by men, and it's been the way for a long time. I mean, maybe one day we'll get a woman president, I don't know. But the whole thing is that we're trying to, like, all work together, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't even want that. And hence why movies like this, like, come out. Like, I think this movie would have done so much better if because it didn't seem as if she kind of regretted everything that she did. If she had a point of reflection or someone called her out on it and said, you're a cunt for doing this, and she actually felt bad about it, I'd be a lot more understanding about this movie. And here again, I haven't even watched this fucking movie. But it seems, at least from the premise, that she doesn't really feel too bad for what she did. Or at the very least, you know, the movie rewards her for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she literally got the karmic retribution that obviously she deserves, because every character has it in any story, when they do some fucked up shit and it comes back to bite them in the ass. Literally every series you could possibly think of, and in movie, all have it.
Yeah.
Especially even Michael Corleone from The Godfather, who I even thought when the first movie came out, this guy's untouchable. And in the second movie, like, that shit catches up to him. And
then in the third movie, he's very touchable.
Yeah, and you know, he's dead. His daughter dies in front of him. This is why I'm saying that, like, this character almost has no sense of consequences, because clearly the movie just didn't give her any. Oh yeah, you did all this fucked up shit. Here's the guy you wanted this entire movie.
Here's the thing. Yeah, this is why this movie is. This is why this movie is like. Trust me. I've read. I haven't seen the whole movie in its entirety, but I've read like a bunch of. I've watched video reviews of it to the point where I feel like I pretty much watched the whole thing.
I don't even want to watch this movie.
You should watch a Cynical Reviews video about it. It's really good. And it's still really cringe because, like, the movie itself is incredibly cringe, and it's why you shouldn't let 40-year-old adults make movies about teenagers. But, yeah. Like, think about it like this, you know, like... Popular girls are at least nice to your face. It's part of the reason why they're popular in the first place is because of the idea that they sort of represent.
Yeah.
But this kind of movie is just so unrealistic in the sense that, like, she ends up with the guy at the end and, like, he asks her out. And this, not even just talking about, like, your allegory with Michael Corleone, right? Not allegory, your analogy with Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
It's not like movies about this, like, about, like, high school girls can't, like, have anything in that kind of message. Because to relate, like, you know, Julius Caesar, my friend, what we were talking about earlier.
Who got tragically stabbed in the dick, by
We'll
the way.
talk about a movie that a lot of people don't know was actually inspired heavily by Julius Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Which is a great fucking film. Which is a great fucking film. Mean Girls.
Because it knew what it was, too. That's the thing. Like, it loved to kind of just even make fun of itself sometimes with, like, the whole, like, teen girl fucking movie formula.
It's very, like, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler got real, like, absurdist with it at times.
And it
You know what I
turned
mean?
out
Like,
great.
like, Amanda Seyfried was so fucking funny in that movie. Like, she's, like, such an unbelievable ditz in that movie, to the point where it's like, how the fuck are you even, like, standing up without your head, like, keeling over to the side? And just, like, falling down. Amanda Seyfried, like, by the way, will you marry me? You're so fucking hot. I love you so much.
I honestly thought Rachel Adams was
Rachel McAdams, who is also
Rachel McAdams, yeah.
who I think is less hot in that movie compared to every other movie she's been in. Like, Notebook Rachel McAdams, please, by all intents and purposes, get on my cock. I am begging you.
She was in that
Blonde
one
Rachel McAdams, though? No, she did not pull it off. I'm sorry. Rachel McAdams, I'm sorry, and you're definitely listening to this podcast, so I'm sorry.
But you're not a high schooler.
You're not a high schooler, and you're not a blonde. And you know that. You just did it for the movie.
You know, that was for back then. That was
It's
years
fine.
ago. You know, like, you have aged like fine wine.
Oh, Rachel McAdams is so fucking sexy. I love Rachel McAdams.
I remember her from the Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh, what? No, she is a blonde. What the? Oh, never mind. She pulls it off. Never mind. I lied. I take it back. Never.
No, but
to a
in this
man's
movie
opinion
though,
about you
she was a high schooler though. That's the thing though. We
Yeah.
didn't mention the blonde thing.
Okay, I see what you're
at
talking about. I see
Yeah.
what you're talking about now. She got a lot hotter as she aged.
Yeah, and like that was the first movie that I ever actually fully saw her in, and I don't know, bro. Like, she's just. It's no wonder that she has she gets acting jobs, like, you know, every year. She's
She's an
gorgeous.
A-list. She's an A-list star now, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That movie also talks about, you know, high school bullying and what, like, high schoolers have to go through, especially teenage girls, you know, because they're horrible to each other. And then they show, like, how, like, you know, like, the main character, becomes a little bit corrupted because of like this whole idea that she's got to like take the popular girl down because she's like sort of like the weird outcasty type, to the point where she becomes the bully herself because of her own insecurities, and she doesn't even realize that like she's now bullying the popular girl. And the whole movie is about, it doesn't matter if she's the popular girl, how bullying is not okay. That's the reason it does that. It doesn't justify her behavior at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that movie. It's not like a movie about like projecting your fucking like pathetic insecurities like Sierra Burgess is. Like Mean Girls instead talks about those insecurities and what you should do to move past them and how you can deal with them while also simultaneously being funny as fuck. It's an allegory about Julius Caesar. You know, it's literally an allegory about, or like an analogy or an allegory about Julius Caesar, right? Because it's about like how they all sort of turn against him, how Brutus even goes against him, which is personified through Lindsay Lohan's character, and how she's the one who eventually becomes corrupted because she becomes the same thing that she claimed she was fighting against. You know what I mean? It's like that. That's so much actual depth to that. And I literally learned about this in high school. Believe it or not, that movie was literally, it actually kind of inspired by Julius Caesar. And you hear that and you're like, David, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
Julius
but then you take
Caesar,
20 minutes.
It's about fucking Roman, like, senators. You're talking about a movie with high school teenage girls, you dumb fuck. Like, stop being so tall and, like, getting, like, fucking, like, hernias because of your height, you dumb shit. Get the fuck out of here. But no, it's true.
A lot of people also seem to forget that there is a lot of relatability for a lot of shit that Shakespeare has made. Also, one, he was a horny motherfucker, too. Because, like, you know, Romeo and Juliet, I could tell like, this guy was stroking his cock the whole time.
If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure he also liked him young. I don't think he was a pedophile.
I'm not even surprised. Then.
I don't think he was a pedophile, but he did like get with girls who were like way younger than him. Not that pedophilia was a fucking thing back then. I don't think anybody cared. It was like the fucking 1500s.
Royals, married real young. 15-year-olds could marry 40-year-olds. 15-year-olds could fucking 60-year-olds.
Look at
happened.
Who's the woman that like princess or whatever who said let them eat cake?
Oh, Marie Antoinette.
Oh yeah, Marie Antoinette. Yeah, did she fucked her son when her son was like 10, right?
Huh?
Am I wrong about that? I remember reading that online. Is that not true? Okay, you don't. Okay, it's probably not true. You're the historian here. If it's stumping you this much,
I don't know too much about her, just because like the very fact that the way that history's like kind of mentioned her is just she's just known as the bitch who said let them eat cake,
which is not even true. She never actually said that.
Her son? There's my Google search terms. Marie Antoinette fucks her son.
And Marie Antoinette, ever the horny one, decided to pull across her 4th grade son and said, "Insert this thing into me." So said Antoinette. 1500 and 1435, whenever her fucking era was, the Victorian era, whatever.
Well, there was a lot of, as it said, a lot of propaganda that was made against her. I don't see nothing about fucking her son, but I mean, hey, it's Europe. Anything could happen.
But the undertold stories of Marie Antoinette come from her aide, LaShonda.
It's like a really hefty black woman.
Witnessing the whole thing from the back, it was this that led to Marie Antoinette's execution. And then it cuts to, like, you, like, in the interview, like, Vox, you know, like, as, like, the Dennis Chung historian.
It's got that little caption that shows up, like, Dennis Chung, like, historian, and I'm like,
well,
okay. I'm just like a little nervous, like, being on camera. This is, like, take 15 of the day, and I'm just like, oh, sorry, guys. Like, I used to being on camera, like actually on camera.
I feel like it was you. It would just be like, well, Marie Antoinette was,
she was a hoe, bro.
She was kind of a cunt. And they'll be like, what, the producers are like, where did you get this guy from? Like, where the fuck did you get this guy? It's like, his credentials show he's got a degree, and like...
This guy also, like, you know, he studied at Montclair. Like, he knows a guy named David. He's checks out. Like,
well, if he knows a guy named David, then that's all the credentials he needs.
Like,
get him on here.
Like, what more do you want? We can't hire those other guys. They charge top dollar. This guy literally said he'd come in for free, and he knows his shit. And it's like, all right, okay, fine, but he's just like, you know, this is like the first time he's been on camera and shit. So come on, like, what? You never got your first time jitters? Let him roll. He'll get used to it.
Yeah. And LaShonda, she knew she couldn't tell about Marie Antoinette's alleged incest. Because she was black. And that was illegal back then.
It's like, what was illegal? Being black.
God. Oh, my lord.
I always wondered, like, that is one little chapter that a lot of people don't talk about, like probably 10 black people that lived in Europe around those times that wasn't a slave. Like, I really wonder, like, it's so weird because the only time that we ever actually get real writing about it is during World War I, when France and obviously Britain, they had massive fucking empires, and like, you know, they obviously drew up a lot of soldiers from those like territories, like from North Africa and even India. And the Senegalese was one people that the French brought over, and a lot of people at first were like, "Hey, yo, dude, like, I don't really like the fact that there's this many black dudes in my town," because, you know, obviously they needed troops to fill the trenches. But I think there was, but the opinion for them actually shifted over real quick because they realized, like, oh, these guys, like, they're brave ass guys, like, they're really brave. They're like fighting and dying over there, and like for us, like the whole public's opinion just completely shifted, and it's really tragic because on that same note, everyone knows about the Harlem Hellfighters. Everyone knows of the terrible treatment that they received when they came back from France and when they came back to the United States. Everyone knows of the famous riots that had happened. I forgot exactly where, but it was where a lot of those veterans basically got lynched and killed by a great number. And I don't know where the fuck I was going with this, but truth be told, like, I guess, I don't know, I always just go like a little history. Like,
you got a little boner for that, don't you?
But it was, I don't know, I always just found it so, like, interesting, because, like, you know, I like to imagine there's, like, at least 10 people that were living in France that were obviously not white. And it's like, I've always just wondered, like, did they get a lot of looks when they were just trying to go to town to get bread? It's like, who the fuck is this, like, non-white dude in my town? Like, who is this guy? Like, I even imagining Asians too, because, like, especially in America, like, you know, when Chinese came here en masse for the first time, it was mostly just to have them help build the railroads, as we all kind of famously know them for. And we know of, like, the first Chinatowns being basically sprung up in, like, California and a lot of other places. Everyone knows, maybe not everyone, but you know, there was a Chinese Exclusion Act, which I think was one of the first times in straight up American history where the government and everyone just basically said, we don't want your people coming in here, period. We love your wonton soup, but we don't want more of you in here.
Man, I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry myself.
Some Chinese food does sound pretty good right now.
Yeah, I low-key might even order myself some of that, but yeah.
What is your favorite Chinese dish?
I like sesame chicken.
If we're talking sesame chicken.
I love sesame chicken, put it over rice.
You got it with broccoli?
Yes.
Mine is just regular chicken and broccoli.
My favorite bastardized American food. My bastardized Americanized Chinese food. But yeah, you know, we just thought we'd talk about that not even thought that we'd talk about that for a little while. You know how we do here. We just go off on different kinds of stuff. But it's not even to say that these kinds of movies about, like, high schoolers or teenage girls can be bad. It's like, you can still, like, talk about, you know, how horrible it is to be a teenage girl, because it fucking sucks. You know, they're horrible.
It sucks being a teenager, period.
Yeah, and they're horrible to each other. But, like, there's a way to do it in, like, a better, not even just better, but more creative and tasteful way than literally showing a movie about a horrible, manipulative sociopath who gets what they want in the end as a reward for her manipulative behavior. It's like, why did you think that was a good idea? This same woman is apparently writing a Star Trek sequel.
And a few others too, apparently Barbie as well. Well, not a sequel, but, like, she's making a screenplay for Barbie.
Well, hopefully she's better at, like, writing about existing sci-fi than her apparent original shit here. Because that was... I just...
What, you don't think that script is going to have tons of projection from her end on it? Come on,
her
bro.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one will. Or it might, because they seem to never be able to get good movies. But that's also because of Michael Bay, so... that's...
Does he have, like, a monopoly on TMNT
I don't think he does. But you know the drill. It's just, like, tasteful stuff like that can be made, and it sucks to see, like, a movie like Mean Girls get made so long ago, and now this is the kind of stuff that's getting greenlit for teenagers. That's honestly really fucking depressing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it is.
Something better can come from it, you know. Like
my
screenplay that I want to write is about my personal story, but like I'm not gonna portray whatever character that I would model off of myself as like a fucking pristine god, you know, like going through like
many people do nowadays.
As so many people do in their movies. Like, no, I would want to show how I was back then in the situations that I was in that inspired me to, you know, want to write it. You know, like with some insecurities in there, you know, like some weird little complexes.
Character
you know,
development.
with character. I know. It's like, that's the thing. Even in Sierra Burgess, there is no character development. She spends the whole movie talking about how ugly and horrible and terrible of a person she is. And then she just fucking proves it at the end. It's like, she just proves it too. I don't get it. But
Sierra
whatever.
Burgess, more like Sierra Regress.
Oh my. I'm done. I'm out of this fucking podcast. Shit sucks.
Guys, we love you. Guys, check us out on Instagram and our other podcast labels. And yeah, we love you. Goodbye.
No. We need to do it better than that.
I slammed my penis on the car door.
Oh, shut up. All right. All right. I think we're reaching that. I think we're reaching that point. So it's time. You know where to follow us, friends.
But David, you want to know something though?
What's up?
That video that you showed me of Daffy Duck and that little dog thing, like
Parappa the Rapper,
Parappa the Rapper doing the little rap battle.
Yeah.
I knew what he is, but I forgot the name. Literally after you sent me that, I got nothing but like, this is how you know YouTube and shit is like basically infiltrating your phones. I literally got nothing but like the first 5 videos were nothing but parodies off of that one clip on my recommended, and I'm just like, David, I'm not even joking you. I was literally like, I'm looking at my phone, right? I was on the couch. I saw all those. And I literally said out loud, fucking David.
I slammed my penis in the car door.
You slammed your penis in the car door.
Oh!
All right, we're done. We're getting nonsensical. You can follow us right here at youtube.com/Nintoonist, as well as on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Radio Public, Breaker, Anchor, all that stuff. It'll all be in the description below. Follow us. Leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts if you can. That really helps with like our SEO and getting us noticed and whatnot. We really
Get
appreciate
us that clout,
that.
guys.
Get us that sick clout. I'm so sick. And also, yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if you like the sound of my voice, you can hire me for your personal project now. I would be happy to loan my voice to your animation project, your commercial, your narration, your promo work, whatever it is you need. I mean, I'll see if it's in my repertoire. I'll see if it's up my alley as of right now, and I'll do it for cheap. Honestly, I'm just trying to get as much of that in as I can, build myself up. So if you want to help me with doing that for your personal project, your personal or commercial project for very cheap, yeah, feel free. And I'm totally not doing this just so I can show that really, really nice photo of me in every episode now. I'm totally not. That's not the reason. I'm not that vain. But yes, that photo is probably going to be in every single episode of the Double D Experience now. Probably.
On that note, guys, we all hope y'all have a fantastic evening.
Mwah.
And we love you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
And
Sierra
Julius
Regress
probably got stabbed in the dick. And Sierra Regress probably deserved to be stabbed in the pussy.
but instead, it was licked by the popular boy.
Yo, that dude was licking catfish pussy.
Oh my! All right, bye. Oh Lord, lights off.
Love you guys.